Hi, my name is Matt and welcome to today's episode. My plan is to sail my 27-foot Maxi Phoenix Little Wing all the way from the Netherlands to Spain in about 3 months. In this video, we are sailing from Baiona in Spain all the way across the northern Portuguese coast up to Lisbon, a total distance of just about 250 miles. We will stop over at Viana do Castelo, Porto, Figueira da Foz, and Peniche to finally arrive in Cascais. Bem-vindo a Portugal. We just crossed the border from Spain to Portugal at La Guardia, and today more fog, although the sight is a little bit better than yesterday, so not too bad. I can see something, a little bit at least. And today we'll do a 33 miles trip to Viana in Portugal. A short trip because of the fog and little winds, but hey, at least we crossed the border. Fortunately, the fog quickly dissolved and we had some sunny sailing weather. The coastline in northern Portugal is somewhat unimpressive. It's mostly long beaches and flat land. I didn't film anything in Viana as the stop was very short and consisted mostly of resting and leaving early. So this is the entrance to Porto, or Cascais, to be more precise. And while we are on Porto, let's have a look at this beauty of a city. I just couldn't stop filming.
After staying in the somewhat run-down marina for one day, I finally made for Figueira very early in the morning. The conditions weren't great, but I guess it was the best day of that week.
We are on our way from Porto to Figueira de Foz. I left very early in the morning, about 7:30 today, to go to Figueira, which is 65 miles away. And today is the only day where I thought I could leave because of the high waves. So today we have between 170 and 2 meters, which is still doable. But then tomorrow it's going up to 3 and then even more before it goes down again. And all of these days there's not any wind. So today is the only day with a little bit of wind and not too high waves. The drawback is that the wind is coming directly from south where I want to go. So I have to tack, which makes everything more tedious, and it will take a lot longer to go there. So if I would go straight, I should be arriving around 11 o'clock tonight, but I think it's gonna be a lot later because of the tacking. But still I prefer to sail and tack than run the engine and give it a hard time because of the waves and the rolling. So let's see how it goes today.
Well, let's say we started rolling that day. At some point I gave up the tacking as we didn't really make any significant progress, and I started the engine. At least the sunset was nice, of what would become a very long night.
So at 3:30 in the morning I finally arrived here at Figueira da Foz. After about 72 miles, a little bit more than was planned, because I tried to tack a little bit. In the end it was mostly engine, with 95% engine I would say. Yeah, it held up well. We were awfully slow with the big waves. I think the average was 3.3 knots. So, terribly slow. It took a long while. I think 20 hours. So that's a long time. And now I'll get some sleep, some rest, and then we'll see what tomorrow brings. Hello. So today we started a little bit delayed, around 9:30 from Figueira da Foz, going to Peniche, and it's a 55-mile distance, I think. So it's going to take me about 14 hours. The good news is that we have some fairly good wind on our beam, which means that I can fly the blister, which gives us some extra speed. Right now we're doing 4.4 knots, which is perfectly fine within my average, and for a change, no engine required at least. So there are quite big waves still. The whole week is very big swells. Today is 2 meters, which is kind of the limit for my boat, I think. But I have to say it's very easy, not a problem at all right now. As soon as you have wind, it works. But on the other hand, they will also close down harbors if the waves are bigger than, like, may say 2 meters 80 or something. So yesterday night they closed down the marina I was in to boats smaller than 40 foot or 12 meters, because the bar on the entrance would create massive swells and currents, and breaking waves can be very dangerous for sailing boats with their relatively weak engines. So they closed the entire port, and I was even talking to the harbor master yesterday night at around 9 o'clock when he just said, yeah, I had a boat coming in, it was slightly below 12 meters. I told them, you cannot come in, you have to go to the next port, which is Nazaré, which is open 24 hours and a port of refuge. And he just closed down the harbor, which is not a nice thing to have when you're looking for a port to go in because of undecent conditions. 7 o'clock, and I'm really happy. The wind hit up very nicely. The waves making it a little bit difficult, as you can maybe hear. But fantastic average speed today, 4.7. I think that's the record. Let's see if it stays like that. Usually something happens just before you arrive to kind of mess up your day. But so far it's really, really nice. The sun is just going down. There's probably another 45 minutes of light. And I'll need probably about 2.5 hours to get to Peniche. Very small harbor. But should be nice, meeting some friends there, maybe have 1 or 2 beers, whatever. Let's see how it goes.
And so we went surfing for a day in Peniche at our old friend Joao of Peniche Kite and Surf Center. And at 9 in the morning we started sailing towards Cascais. Not everybody loved the 2.5 meter waves, but the boat plowed through them as well as some nasty winds around Cabo da Roca just fine. When we finally arrived at the marina reception in Cascais, some of us were glad to be on solid ground again. Still, I haven't heard any complaints. That's the spirit, boys. Cascais Marina is a very high-class place. Unfortunately, it's also very, very expensive. This was the highest fee I've ever paid per night on this trip. If you are ever in Lisbon, I definitely recommend visiting this place. One of the nicest I've seen in Portugal. When we were there, they were also holding an Ironman competition. And this is where I will end this episode. Next time we will go down the beautiful Algarve coast and towards the Strait of Gibraltar. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching.